Welcome to Restoria. I'm Jenna, and this is your cozy corner for gentle bedtime stories. Each night, I'll share peaceful tales made to quiet your thoughts and guide you softly into sleep. So settle in, get comfy, and let the story carry you into rest. The story tonight is called Falling Stars, Soft Hearts. Chapter 1. The window with the quiet view. In a house tucked just past the edge of a quiet lane, where ivy leans gently into the window panes and rain slips off the roof in silver ribbons, Nia lies awake in the early evening. The sky is turning the shade of softened ash, and the hush of night is beginning to bloom. She isn't quite ready to get up, and she isn't quite tired enough to sleep again. There is something lovely in this in-between. She shivers beneath a cotton throw on the couch and lets her eyes follow the slow swirl of dust caught in the fading light. Beside her, a cup of chamomile cools on the windowsill. She watches the curl of steam thin into nothing. Somewhere outside, a dog barks once, then stops, as if reminded that this is an hour for silence. Nia glances toward the bookshelf, its familiar spines leaning like old friends. Her gaze stops at a small notebook, the blue one. That's the one. She reaches for it without hurry, her hand trailing across the wooden coffee table. The cover is worn, the pages crinkled at the edges, but inside are little thoughts she's kept across seasons. Wishes, mostly. Memories that taste like summer air and soft wool. One page, folded at the corner, reads, "Watch the stars fall with you." She traces the sentence with the pad of her thumb. It has been there for years, but the wish has never left her. The floor creaks gently in the hallway. A familiar sound. She smiles to herself. Liam walks in with his sleeves rolled up and the smell of fresh bread clinging to him. He pauses, takes her in with his eyes, in that way he does, like she's the beginning of something quiet and important. "Still cozy?" he asks, voice soft as warm flannel. "Very," she murmurs. He sets a small plate down next to her tea, a slice of the bread, still warm. Her hand finds his, and he sits beside her, knees brushing. For a while, they just watch the window. Clouds move slowly. The world softens. A moth flickers briefly near the window glass, then drifts off again. The dim lamplight settles golden on the edges of the room. In the stillness, time folds a little, and the moment expands like breath held in gentle wonder. Then she hands him the notebook, open to the start page. He reads. He breathes out, long and thoughtful. "It's happening tonight," he says. The Perseids, remember? She does. She remembers now. She remembers a younger version of herself scribbling those words. One quiet August, windows open to the chirping of crickets, imagining a night when wishes would burn their way across the sky and into her chest. They both look back out at the sky, which is deepening into a hue that feels like velvet wrapped around a quiet heart. "We could go," he adds, turning to her. "Just us. Blankets, a flask, the hill." Nia nods. Slowly, a smile in her chest more than on her lips. The kind of yes that feels like something finally clicking into place. They sit like that a little longer, their quiet woven together with the hush of the evening. The kind of peace that needs no announcement, that simply is. Outside, the first star is just beginning to shine. Chapter 2. Packing quietly, the house seems to hum softly around them, like it knows what they're preparing for. The kitchen clock ticks in an unhurried rhythm. The kettle simmers, then clicks off with a sigh. Nia moves with the ease of someone who has packed for evenings like this before, but not in a long while. She folds a wool blanket, checks the edges for crumbs or loose threads, and places it into a canvas bag. Liam stands by the counter, pouring warm cider into a thermos. He adds a cinnamon stick, lets it drift for a moment, then screws the lid on tight. They don't speak much, not because there's nothing to say, but because the silence suits the task. There is a quiet joy in the rhythm of preparation. Nia grabs 2 wool hats from the drawer by the door. One is deep burgundy, the other a soft gray. She brushes her fingers over the knit patterns as if greeting old friends. Liam gathers a faded quilt that smells faintly of cedar. They had used it on the same hill years ago, before they had even imagined living together, before this quiet home with its sleepy windows and climbing ivy. The memory surfaces like a warm tide, lying close on the dewy grass, whispering stories to each other beneath a sky freckled with stars. The feel of her head on his shoulder, the cold of the night made bearable by proximity and breath, and the shared sense of being exactly where they should be. He pauses a moment as he lifts the quilt, nostrils flaring gently at the scent. Memory lingers, not heavy, but soft, like the drift of smoke from a candle recently extinguished. Now, the thermos goes into the bag beside the mugs. A bar of dark chocolate tucked in as an afterthought. A little lantern is checked, its battery glowing dimly alive. Nia adds 2 pairs of thick socks, rolled tight. Even in summer, the hill breathes cool air after sundown. She remembers her toes going numb once. The night so beautiful, it didn't matter, but still comfort counts. Shoes at the door. Nia laces hers, slowly double knotting the laces with practiced fingers. Liam shrugs into a thick sweater, pausing to stretch his arms. She watches him for a second longer than usual. His hair is still a little mussed from baking. The quiet intent on his face makes something in her chest soften. Outside the window, dusk is pressing in a little deeper. The sky is still a long way from black, but the blue has deepened into something richer, more promising. They step outside together. The door clicks shut behind them. The air smells of damp grass and something faintly sweet honeysuckle maybe, or the ghost of it. Gravel crunches gently underfoot as they move down the path. A nearby tree shivers as a breeze slips past its leaves. Nia holds the bag while Liam unlocks the car. He opens the back to lay the blanket flat, testing its smoothness like he might a bed for guests. She smiles quietly at the gesture. They get in. The engine turns over with a low hum. Headlights stretch out over the lane ahead, catching glimpses of night just beginning to settle into the corners of the world. As they pull away, the house stands behind them, warm and lit, holding the stillness of the day inside its wall. Neither of them says it aloud, but they both feel it. The evening has already begun, and the stars are waiting. Chapter 3. The long way up. The road to the hill isn't long, but they take it slowly. The car hums steadily as they wind through the sleepy outskirts of town, where porch lights glow like low lanterns and curtains sway gently behind half-open windows. Nia watches the world outside with her chin resting on the edge of her scarf. Her breath fogs faintly on the glass. She draws an absent line through the mist, a little looping trail that disappears almost as quickly as it appears. They pass the bakery with its windows dark, the school empty and still swings quiet in the cool air. The turn by the old willow where the branches bend low as if listening to the road. Inside the car, the radio plays something soft and wordless. Liam turns the volume down until it's barely the area hush. Beneath the hush, their hands meet gently on the center console. Not held, just resting together, touching in a way that speaks of ease and years. A quiet tether, the road narrows as they climb. Gravel turns to dirt and the wheels crunch over a path lined with tall grass and thistle. The headlights sweep across wildflowers bowed in the dusk, petals folding in for sleep. Liam points out a fox, just a blur disappearing into the brush. Nia murmurs a quiet, delighted "oh." It's the kind of moment they won't remember in detail, but will carry as a soft impression folded into the fabric of the night. When they reach the old wooden gate, Liam puts the car in park. Nia opens her door and steps out into the evening. The cool greets her first, not sharp but clear, like a lake surface in early morning. She stretches slowly, arms overhead, back arching. The movement loosens something in her, and her breath deepens. The wind carries with it a whisper of pine and soil, the scent of summer at its quietest. No heat, no haste, just earth and dusk. Liam lifts the bag from the trunk and slings it over his shoulder. The lantern he keeps in hand. Its glow is soft, like a small moon caught in a jar. The trail is only a short walk, but they make it last, one step at a time. Stones beneath their soles wind, threading through the branches above. They don't need to talk. The silence is enough. As they near the top, the trees begin to thin. The sky opens wider. Hints of stars just now peeking through the indigo. They pause for a moment at the crest, standing still, not out of weariness, but reverence. The kind of stillness that happens when one remembers how large the sky is and how small one feels in the best possible way. At the crest, the hill unfurls before them like a waiting quilt. Tall grass rustles in a quiet hush. The whole world seems to exhale. Nia exhales too. A long breath, She didn't realize she'd been holding it. Liam spreads the quilt, smooth and steady, his movements almost ceremonial. Naya places the bag beside it and slips off her shoes. The ground is cool and forgiving. She sinks into it, cross-legged, arms around her knee. He joins her, and for a moment they simply sit. A small insect hums by, unbothered. The distant owl calls from somewhere unseen. The breeze moves gently across the hill, brushing against their faces like a lullaby. Above, the stars begin to gather. The show has not yet begun, but the curtain is rising. Chapter 4. Beneath the quiet sky, the quilt is warm beneath them, its fabric familiar and softly frayed at the edges. Nia leans back on her hands, tilting her face toward the sky. The deepening blue stretches above them, dusted now with the first real stars. They are still faint, those stars, the earliest arrivals, pale and flickering like they're just waking up. 1, then 2, then 5. Liam uncaps the thermos and pours cider into 2 enamel mugs. The scent rises between them, warm and spiced, wrapping around their quiet like a blanket. He passes her a cup, their fingers brushing. She closes both hands around it, letting the warmth seep into her palms. They sip slowly, the way you do when there's nowhere to be but here. No need for haste. The wind hums through the grass in low, sleepy rhythms, a sound that could be mistaken for silence if you didn't listen closely. But they do. They listen. The hill cradles them in its gentle curve. It has seen 1,000 nights like this one, and it remembers them all. Liam lies back, one arm tucked beneath his head. Nia follows, settling onto her side, cheek resting lightly on her palm. They say nothing. The moment is full, without words. Above, a shooting star slips quietly across the sky, just a shimmer. Here, then gone. She exhales softly, not quite a gasp, more like a sigh made of wonder. Liam turns his head to her, eyebrows raised slightly. She nods. He missed it, but her expression is enough. More stars appear now, tiny lanterns hung high. The sky is building its constellation of light. From somewhere in the field below, a cricket begins its song. Then another, then many. The hillside becomes a chorus of night. Their mugs sit empty, beside them now. Naya pulls the blanket up over her legs and tucks it beneath her knees. Liam drapes his arm lightly across her ankles. The second meteor falls slower this time, streaking gold and silent through the heavens. They both watch, still as breath. No one claps, no one cheers, but the moment feels wholly just the same. Time stretches, not in long minutes, but in softness, in the kind of awareness that comes when everything feels quiet and known. The hush of the evening is not emptied, is filled with the delicate presence of night, of memories returning slowly like mist curling around the ankles. Nia shifts slightly, laying back now, arms folded beneath her head. She can feel the gentle slope of the hill cradle her spine. She can feel the heartbeat of the world beneath her. Liam is beside her, just close enough to share warmth without needing to touch. They have always known how to be alone together. Another meteor cuts the sky, a quick dash of light, a wordless wish. Nia thinks of the page in her notebook. Watch the stars fall with you, and here they are. She feels tears prick lightly at the corners of her eyes, not from sadness, not from joy either, but from the way quiet beauty can sometimes surprise you, the way it reminds you that you are still capable of wonder. Liam, sensing something, turns his head again. She gives him a small smile, and it is returned without question. The stars above multiply, as if summoned by their stillness. The show is beginning, and they are right where they need to be. Chapter 5. A blanket of wishes. The stars now come steadily, like rain that does not rush. Gentle trails of light crossing the dome of sky. Each one a quiet story, a fleeting dream let loose. Nia watches with her lips slightly parted, her breath calm and shallow. Her eyes track the paths of falling stars, each arc brief but full. They remind her of brushstrokes across silk. Liam's hand finds hers now, not out of habit or obligation, but because the moment called for it. Their fingers intertwine, warm and slow. A meteor flares brighter than the others. It burns longer, then fades. They both inhale softly at the same time, not startled, just moved. "Did you make a wish?" Nia whispers, voice barely a thread. Liam nods. Just now, his voice is low, like part of the landscape. You? She smiles. Maybe. Then quieter. I think I already did. Years ago, they fall into silence again. Not heavy, but full of closeness. Their shared warmth rises slowly into the night air. The field around them breathes with life. Grass sways gently. An owl hoots again, and somewhere far off, a deer moves quietly through the underbrush. The air cools further, brushing their cheeks and noses with a softness that reminds them this night belongs to the world, not just to them, but they are allowed here, welcomed. Liam shifts to sit up slightly. He reaches for the bag, pulls out the chocolate bar, breaks off 2 pieces. He hands one to her. The chocolate is rich and slightly bitter, melting slowly on their tongues. It grounds them, sweetness in the hush. The lantern glows faintly at their feet. Its light no match for the stars above, but comforting all the same. Like a tether to earth. I used to think I'd be different, Liam murmurs. Older, more certain. Nia turns to look at him, the side of her face lit faintly by starlight. Maybe this is certainty, she says. He nods slowly. It feels like something settled, like breathing without remembering how. She nods. The breeze plays with the ends of her hair. She does not tug it back. She lets it move with the night. They sit in that feeling of enoughness, of nothing to fix or chase. Another star falls. Nia presses her palm to his, grounding him. I think this is what I wished for. Not a night of stars, just a night like this with you. Liam doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. The blanket around their shoulders shifts as they lean closer, the fabric pulling softly as it accommodates their shared space. They lean into each other beneath the vast, star-laced sky. The world turns slowly. The night deepens. More stars fall. Dozens now. Dozens upon dozens. Each one carrying with it some small, quiet meaning. They don't speak. There is nothing left to define. Just presence, just breath and sky in the hush between. And the stars keep falling, soft as promises. Chapter 6, Threads of Light. The night is full now, full of stars, full of quiet, full of the kind of peace that doesn't ask questions. Nia lies flat on her back, hands folded gently on her belly, eyes open wide. The stars no longer need to be searched, for they are everywhere. The sky is a net of light. A breeze lifts a corner of the blanket and then sets it back down. The rhythm of wind, like a soft breath drawn in and released. Liam stretches beside her, one leg bent, his boot resting lightly against hers. They haven't moved much in a long time, and yet everything inside them has shifted. Above, a flurry of meteors bursts through the dark. 5, 6, 7, one after another. The sky turns momentarily into a scroll of light, unraveling itself in silence. Nia lets her breath leave her slowly. It feels like the sky is speaking, she murmurs. Liam smiles with his eyes still closed. Maybe it is. They lie in that silence, letting the stars speak whatever they are saying. A low hum begins, almost imperceptible at first. Insects, maybe, or the wind winding its way through grasses and stone. A quiet song made not by intention, but by being. Nia reaches a hand upward, fingers outstretched. She traces the air, not trying to catch a star, just to remember the way this sky feels. I don't think I've ever felt this still, she says, barely louder than a breath. Liam opens his eyes and looks at her. Still, but not empty, she nods. That's exactly it. From far below, the town glows faintly. Porch lights, bedroom lamps, a few late cars humming along their way. But up here, none of that exists. Just this hill, this sky, and two people held by the hush of it all. She turns her head slightly, watching him in profile. His features are softened by starlight, gentled by the dark. She wonders briefly how many versions of this moment she'll carry with her. The air grows cooler, a hush spreading deeper. Even the insects quiet for a time, as though pausing to listen with them. There is reverence in the stillness. The blanket rustles slightly as she shifts, curling one knee toward her chest. The fabric brushes her cheek, and the scent of home clings to a clean cotton, faint cedar, the warmth of their living room. Do you remember our first time up here? She asks. He nods. You were cold. I gave you my jacket, and you said the stars looked like wishes waiting to be born. He laughs softly. That does sound like something I'd say. They laugh together, barely a sound, their joy quiet and contained. Then another flare cuts through the sky, this one wider, brighter, as if painting a path. They follow it with their eyes until it disappears. Nia closes her eyes, not to sleep but to feel, to store the moment inside herself. The blanket beneath her, the cool air at her cheeks, the closeness of him. She thinks of how rare it is a night with no phones, no questions, no walls to hold them in, just the sky, just each other. Liam watches her for a few moments, then looks back up. A shooting star crosses overhead, long and silver, dissolving into the dark. He shifts a little closer, the motion barely noticeable but deeply felt. Neither of them makes a wish. This time, they are already living inside one. Chapter 7, The Deepest Quiet. It is late now, the kind of late where time forgets its shape, the kind of late that doesn't need clocks. Nia curls onto her side beneath the blanket, her breath slow and even. She watches the stars through half-lidded eyes, no longer tracking each one, but letting them wash over her like a tide. Liam remains beside her, propped on an elbow, watching the sky. His other hand rests near hers, palm open, as if to receive something the night might offer. A silence has settled that feels deeper than before. Not the absence of sound, but a fullness, as though the world has drawn a soft curtain around them. The meteors come slower now, but no less beautiful. Each one traces a long, soft arc, taking its time. Their breath becomes the only rhythm they follow. Inhale, exhale, inhale again. Nia shifts slightly, nestling her cheek against Liam's arm. He adjusts to support her, careful not to disturb the quiet. The warmth between them is steady, unspoken, far off. The hoot of the owl sounds once more. Closer, the grass rustles with the movements of small, hidden lives. The stars continue to fall, but they are no longer the focus. What matters now is the space between them and the stars, the belonging, the weightlessness. The lantern by their feet has dimmed. Its soft glow is a pale echo now, no longer needed. The moon and stars are enough. Liam speaks, his voice no more than a breath. What if we just stayed? Nia doesn't open her eyes. Here, forever, Here, like this, a pause, then a soft smile curls on her lips. Then we'd live under a sky of wishes. They let that thought stretch between them, the kind of thought that doesn't need planning, just knowing, just the sense that something has already arrived. The blanket shifts again as Nia nestles closer. Her body soft with nearing sleep. Her breath shallower now. Liam watches her for a while longer, then eases down beside her. He rests his head close to hers. Their foreheads nearly touch. He can smell the faint sweetness of her shampoo, the earthiness of the blanket, the cool clarity of the night air. These are the small details that anchor him, the invisible threadwork of the moment. He closes his eyes, not to escape, but to settle deeper into the presence of things. The sound of Nia's breathing is a steady whisper. Another star falls. He doesn't see it, but he feels it somehow, a softness against the stillness. His arm wraps gently around her middle, not to hold, just to rest there. She responds without waking, a slight shift that brings them even closer. A breeze brushes over the hill, gentle and cool, wrapping around them like a shawl. In the distance, the world sleeps. Lights blink out, one by one. The hush deepens. Above them, the sky goes on shining, and the night holds them steady as a promise. Chapter 8. A gentle return. The first hint of dawn arrives not in color, but in texture. The sky, still deep and dark, begins to soften at the edges. A breath of lightness, barely there. Nia stirs, her eyes opening slowly, like petals easing into morning. The stars are fading now, tucked back behind the veil of coming day. They are so complete. Liam feels her shift and opens his eyes. The quilt is warm against his back, and the hill is quiet as ever, holding them one last time. For a moment, neither of them moves. They simply breathe, wrapped in a kind of silence only found at the seam between night and day. The lantern is dark now, its light long spent, a witness gone to rest. I didn't dream, Nia whispers. That was the dream, Liam says, voice still wrapped in sleep. They smile, and the moment settles between them. The morning rises slowly. A hush of lavender spreads across the horizon. The grasses around them catch the light dew, sparkling faintly in the gentlest breeze. A robin sings from somewhere nearby. Then a second voice joins, a quiet duet to welcome the day. Nia sits up, pulling the blanket around her shoulders. She watches the horizon as it stretches open, a ribbon of pale gold unfurling from the east. Liam joins her, knees drawn up, arms resting loosely. They watch in silence, letting the light slowly draw their bodies back into the world. They don't speak. They don't need to. The warmth of what they shared remains quiet and full. Nia brushes a blade of grass from her sleeve. Her fingers linger on the fabric. The texture of sleep, the texture of being held by night. Liam watches her, eyes softened with the knowledge that some nights stay with you long after the stars have gone. She stands, slow and gentle, stretching her arms toward the lightening sky. The air brushes her cheeks with cool breath. Her toes press into the soft hilltop soil one last time. They pack quietly. The mugs are empty, the thermos capped, the chocolate gone. The quilt is folded gently with care. He lingers with the blanket a moment longer, his fingers tracing the fold line as if he could memorize its weight, the memory it holds. Liam takes a slow look around the hilltop. The sky is lightening now in earnest. Birds flutter from tree to tree. He bends to pick up the lantern and slips it into the bag. Its weight is soft like memory. The walk down the hill is quiet. The earth is soft underfoot, a path known and cherished. Nia reaches out to touch the tall grass as they pass. Her fingers trail lightly through the blades, a farewell of sort. The hillside behind them holds no urgency, only the quiet presence of something treasured. Birdsong follows them. When they reach the car, Nia lingers, glancing back up the slope. It's still there, she says softly. Liam nods. It always will be. She leans her head briefly on his shoulder. Then they climb into the car. They drive home with the windows cracked, the scent of morning drifting in. The air smells of new beginnings and soft ending. Sunlight starts to spill across the horizon, pale and golden. It touches the tops of trees, glimmers across rooftops, and turns the dew on the grass into sparkles. The road ahead is quiet, unhurried. No plans, no rushing, just the slow return to a home that waits. the scent of warm bread still lingering in its wall. Somewhere behind them, stars rest, and ahead, a quiet day waits, already glowing